This episode of the Squadcast podcast includes explicit content, adult themes, and coarse language. Listener discretion advised.
That's all you have to say.
Shut your face.
Mortal Kombat! Mortal Kombat!
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Squadcast podcast reviews and two guesses on what we're reviewing today. The first one doesn't count. It's Mortal Kombat.
It is Mortal Kombat.
It's actually a duo. A duel, if
Yes.
you will.
Yeah,
a duel of the combats with a K. I'm joined by my lovely lady, Emily.
Hello, world.
Oh, my.
God.
And my best buddy, Dustin.
Hey, man!
Yeah!
My God!
So we went and we saw a little movie tonight.
We did.
This is a Squadcast podcast after hours.
This is after hours.
If you
Is
can,
this
if
R?
you can
We
hear.
watched an R movie.
Yeah, our movie.
You have to
Can
review it in
I
R.
say words?
We're gonna say words. It's explicit content,
Woo!
so
This is real.
fuck it all.
Oh!
There were a lot of those in the movie.
Yes.
Should have brought my 40 down here.
I mean, I got some beer in the. You want some? All
Yeah,
right.
I'm all right.
So we did. We saw the 2021 Mortal Kombat.
2021, man.
It starred a bunch of people we don't know, and that's
Nope.
okay.
But it did have eggs from True Blood.
Yes. That
And
one
here's
guy.
Buff.
He's very buff.
Yes.
His arms were like steel, because his arms were actually steel.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What is his name?
Jax.
Jax.
Yeah.
He was Tara's boyfriend in True Blood when she was getting like possessed.
In the beginning of it all?
I don't know,
Was it
like
early
season 1, 2.
Yeah.
It was early on,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was early on, yeah.
'Cause I
Yeah.
remember Tara, yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Eggs.
Yeah, he's literally the only guy that I knew of. Cole, I've seen him in a couple of other things.
Actually, the what is it? The sorcerer. What's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been
He
in some
looks
Shang
familiar.
Tsung. He's
Shang
been in
Tsung.
some stuff. Yeah,
Wasn't he?
yeah.
Wasn't I think he was in The Dark Knight. He was the mob boss's accountant.
Oh,
And
look at you
honestly,
digging
I think.
deep.
I think
and
he
I believe,
was.
I believe.
Yes. He was also
Raiden.
Raiden.
He looked familiar,
he's been in
too.
some stuff.
Yeah.
And Scorpion, I've seen him in stuff.
Oh yeah,
before.
yeah. So Scorpion. Funny. So Scorpion, that actor has been. He was killed by Wolverine
oh,
and
Oh my God.
by Hawkeye.
oh.
Yeah, he was like the bad like father figure guy in the Wolverine,
Oh,
and then he
in
was
the Wolverine.
in the Wolverine,
The
yeah.
Wolverine.
And then he was in Infinity War for like
Oh.
half a second. He fought Hawkeye when Hawkeye was
Cool.
Ronin, going nuts in
He was
Japan.
He was one of the.
He was
yeah,
the head guy,
yeah.
the Akuza.
Oh, yes. Makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense.
Gotcha.
And a whole bunch of other stuff.
He was pretty good here.
Yeah.
Didn't think so much at the beginning. You know, I mean, darn, we're gonna.
Spoilers ahead, everyone. We're going. We're just gonna go off the.
Do y'all
cuff here.
normally do that? Do you normally?
Well, this is full
Spoiler alert!
Yeah,
alert,
yeah. We
alert,
just
alert.
Full
we start
spoilers.
early, and then we can just go from there,
Full.
and it's their fault.
Okay.
If they're like, you
Gotcha.
spoiled it for me.
I mean, yeah, he didn't win in the beginning, so.
That makes sense.
He was supposed to be one of the greatest
Now-
fighters.
Had he gotten his, what do they call it? The power, like, had he
Oh, what do they call
reached
it?
his potential or whatever?
Akuza, Ahsoka.
Yeah, in the
something
beginning.
Like that, yeah.
Had he done that in the beginning?
No, not yet.
Why wouldn't he have kicked his butt?
He
you know?
hadn't it hadn't been unlocked yet.
See, Sub-Zero.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
You would have thought that the death of the family would have unlocked
Right?
it.
Would have unlocked it, yeah.
So the way the movie opens is this like Sub-Zero and his clan come in and decimate Scorpion's family and his clan. So right off the bat we're like, all right,
shit.
Sub-Zero's a bad guy and there's some vengeance here. And there's a daughter of Scorpion that is not found. Raiden finds her, and then we learn that our main character of the movie is a descendant of Scorpion, and that's how he is part of the Mortal Kombat with the birthmark.
He is legit a chosen one.
He is legit, bloodlined right down through, and it was kind of a little obvious, I guess, earlier on.
Yeah.
He was having flashes of Scorpion.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have
It was
dreams.
kinda-
He had
yeah.
dreams of him.
Yeah, so...
In hell.
In hell,
Yeah.
And then we got lots of bloody, gory fights.
Oh my god.
I mean, and it's your typical, Mortal
Mortal
Kombat
Kombat.
1 fight.
Get over here, or finish him.
Yeah, we got Outworld has got one more tournament to win, and then they can invade Earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
It's always one more.
It's always the one more.
It's always one.
Yeah.
They've had 10 so far.
Oh, it would have been 9.
No, it would have been 9. They
Yeah.
need 10. And the world.
And the world.
Everything's about Earth, you know.
So we had who was Team Earth was
Originally, actually, Kano won it.
yeah, Kano.
Well, he was, originally.
He was
Kano
a part of the team the whole time.
an Earth chosen one.
He's like, F this and F that.
Well-
Yeah, he was human.
Well, how they explained it is if you have the mark, if you're killed, then the mark is passed on to the one who beat you.
I had a theory while watching the movie, but it was taken away when he lost his mark.
Oh, okay. When Kano lost his mark.
So when she was
Sonya.
was speaking to him in the beginning, and his was on his neck, and he's like, "Yeah, I slit somebody's throat for that." I was like, "Oh," and Dude Man's was here, and other. I thought for a second, and then it hit me. I'm like, "Oh, he's a descendant, right?"
Yeah.
But it was here, and he got hit here. I was like, "Oh, maybe."
On the chest.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, maybe it is where you get," But
Maybe at one point it very well could have been.
yeah, but she friggin',
Yeah.
So
Well, again, now I am jumping ahead of here, though, just for our little talk here, is that he said death was only another portal
At the end.
at the end.
Yeah.
So,
But so you can become a champion of Earth if you kill somebody with a mark.
Earth's got some tough guys on it, man. Like, people aren't messing
So-
around. Sonya Blade was like, she had...
I thought for sure, Jax.
Yeah.
I thought like he was gonna die and like pass it on to her. Like that's what I thought. Like
Yeah.
that's how I thought she was gonna be involved. But
Because she spends most of the
surprise,
movie.
surprise.
Sonya spends most of the movie not. You good?
I'm good. It's a little close.
She spends most of the movie not a chosen fighter for the tournament.
She's chasing who got Jax.
So it's Sonya, Jax, Cole, our new character.
Our new character.
Kano, Liu Kang, not Liu Kang.
Kung Lao.
Liu Kang, Kung Lao.
Yeah.
Which, lore-wise, from the games, Kung Lao is actually Liu Kang's, like, great-great-great-grandfather.
Was he one of the Shaolin monks, I think he was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then this one, they kind of changed it up and kind of put him at, like, a cousin kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I mean,
Both were orphaned, so... But, yeah, all in all, pretty good time.
I mean, I hope there's more of these.
Yeah, we'd like
Oh,
more. I would
totally
like,
got left open.
Yeah, we would totally take
Well,
more.
when he had said, death is only a portal.
Yeah.
You know you're gonna see. For one thing, Kano didn't have his silver face.
Yeah, Kano will come back with a
He's
silver
gotta come
face,
with a
maybe,
silver
yeah.
face. You had.
But Kano jumped ship because he's an asshole.
Yeah, that's what he is. Well, the entire movie is like, fuck. Oh, fuck that. Shit. I never said shit. Just said fuck.
Comedic relief of the film.
Yes, we'll talk about the
Very
elephant
good.
Yes, he was the
Y'all laughed
funny
the entire
guy.
time. Y'all laughed the
Probably
entire time.
one of my most favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah,
And he's like the bad guy.
Y'all laughed
but
the entire time.
because everything he said was hilarious.
It's 100%.
funny.
Which I think I liked.
The fuck?
So, is it like from a... Because you look at it, like, we watched the original the other day. And it's very campy. It's hard to believe. It's very... It kind of doesn't take itself seriously because it knows
It's not serious.
that it's just it's a video game movie. But it was interesting, this one, that I felt like they were taking it dead serious
No, they were serious
for the
entire
most
time.
part. But then you have Kano that is that comic relief, that is that kind of fourth wall breaking, you know, we can laugh at this because it's completely ridiculous.
It's true.
So it's that element in this kind of serious, you know, crazy gory action movie, which, you know, really works better than, you know, other Mortal Kombat films.
Yeah, the saw blade sombrero situation.
Yes.
That's not a sombrero. That's offensive. Sorry. I don't know what kind of hat it is, but it's the Asian kind of
Say hat, you know.
Yeah.
round.
Flat rimmed, round dome.
Yeah, hat.
I've never heard the name for that hat.
I don't know what it is, but made of metal from
Yes.
what's his face?
Kung Lao.
Kung Lao.
Yeah. That was for a second.
Yeah.
There hadn't been any gore, right?
Oh, it got real right there.
And then
And then it
bam!
it goes from like,
right in your face.
Oh, right.
goes
half.
from like, well, we had the reptile earlier. He
Yeah.
got his heart ripped out, but that really
kinda
wasn't
cool.
like
But it,
super
like,
gory.
you like kind of just put it aside
Yeah, just-
for
it
a
was-
second,
yeah.
and you're like, oh, it's a like an action movie. It's
It
not
goes
like
from
a
0 to 60 in like,
gore.
in a head. Man, you know
Well,
what? That girl must have
thing
had a
was cool
splitting
about
headache
Oh
afterwards.
my
Well,
goodness.
he got excited though. Like there would be a moment that was really that's really serious.
Yes,
And then he would be like,
it's Kano.
and Kenny would be like, "Fly."
Yeah.
That's how we get our powers. It's like, I got what is mine? You know, I don't need the fireball. Whatever you want to give me. You want to give me some lightning bolts? You know.
Oh, it's a fucking laser. It's
And
so
that
much
was-
better than a fireball.
That was one of the aspects of the movie that I thought they did really well, because you're playing the game, and it's a game. Everyone's got superpowers in a fucking game.
All the time.
But they made sense where if you are chosen, you've got the mark, you've got like this ability to tap into this power set that no other regular human can get.
That's right.
And that's how you get your superpowers in your characters, which I thought was a really cool way.
I was showing how they
That
get
that just a cool little
Yeah.
story beat that
Yeah.
they write into. Mm-hmm. But the bad guys,
Generic.
very
Run of
generic.
the mill.
Oh, we could take him
Yeah.
right now. Like seriously, I could probably take Goro.
Yeah,
I feel like I could.
I did. He was the only one I recognized from.
Yeah.
No, you got to see
From
that. You got
before.
to see the Dagon, the girl with the teeth.
Is
Yeah, I see her
that
in the game.
she wasn't
Melena.
in the movie though?
no, this
No,
is
she
her
wasn't
first
in either
time.
one of
Yeah,
them. But like she was in the game, and she's the sister to Katana. It's
Right.
extremely exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
but
We talked about it on the way home. How there's like 15 games.
yeah,
No,
Mortal Kombat,
like it got kind of like.
and they all have different.
Well, the Emperor was a lot like Thanos, and he had these daughters.
right,
That was Katana and that girl with the mouth, right?
right.
So it was a lot like that. He chose his daughter. Like these are my daughters. Or he probably kidnapped them from somewhere. I don't know where they came from, but
Yeah, you didn't really have a lot of like villain development,
yeah, we
which
Maybe
is
next- maybe
it's
next time.
fine.
Maybe
I'm
next
glad
time,
we got
yeah.
the hero development
yeah.
more so we could root for the good guys.
They actually did a good job because it focused on what we were worried about was Sub-Zero.
Yeah,
And if it did go into development for the rest of them, maybe it would have made him lesser.
yeah. I mean,
But we were
bad guys
focused on
wise,
him,
I would
yeah.
say definitely Kano
Yeah.
got the most screen time.
He had a lot of screen time.
And Sub-Zero as Shao Kahn's #1 guy.
Was he scared, Matt?
Was he scared?
When Hanzo came?
He was scared, yeah. But no, he was kind of like your force to be reckoned with.
Right.
Your constant threat throughout.
Oh,
and
like
it
the
was
ultimate
really
end
kind of
like-
like he was
dude.
the dude.
You know, I do have the problem I had with it. There was a problem I had with it. Was when they do these epic shots where it would like zoom out. You don't have to do that. You know, they'd show like the wherever they were at, the arena they were at. You don't have to do that. I think if you
I'm sorry. I will say, you're talking about like the visual aspects. We watched the original one the other night.
Oh my god.
I'm like, 2 seconds in, I'm like, oh my god, I can't. This is a friggin' Power Ranger episode.
I was there.
You were there. Well, you fell asleep, so I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't fall asleep on that one.
Yeah, you
This one
did.
too. So
In the middle.
Hi.
No, but I
I'm
thought
a
this
raging
was
alcoholic.
Oh my god.
this was way better visually, and not even like for the '90s, just in general.
Well, what I'm saying is like there's times I feel like there is some wasted time doing things in shots, and when they would go to the arena, it would show this. Oh, it does this big thing. I don't think they need to do that. I think it kind of wastes time,
Well,
in my opinion.
I think establishing shots
Right.
bring you into the world.
Right.
But there's only so far you can pan back, and then you start losing what your focus is on.
That might be the.
know?
That's what I think.
It's
I
a
would go
fine
with
line
that, yeah.
cinematography wise to kind of
You just-
give you your
you can
scope.
pan out a little bit, but then you don't have to. You don't
get
have to
back
come out
in
to
there.
to show a statue that's CGI. That's up here. We don't have to see it. I don't care about the statue. There's no need to show me the statue. Like you pan a. Oh, there's a statue here that looks like garbage anyway. Like it looks worse than what we found 10,000 years later.
Right.
That was in Pompeii. You know, that's.
I will say, speaking of CGI,
Yes.
there were a couple blood splatters that I noticed were just like
Hey, you don't talk about those.
not great.
Like, the beginning fight.
It wasn't great.
The beginning fight.
Yeah,
In
the gore of it all.
yeah, Hanzo
For
against.
being 2021
Yeah.
and like
It should
a
be better.
nice
It should-
spring summer release,
Right.
like it should have been.
It should have been better.
More.
No, and Warner Brothers. You know, we've had this problem with Warner Brothers, where, I mean, if you look at
Yeah.
you look at some of the other productions they've done recently.
Yeah.
Their CG is not very good.
No, Warner Brothers doesn't.
Is this like a
Really?
notorious problem? Like,
No, yeah,
Kind-
okay,
kind-
we have
do they
three of
come
them
up
right now.
short all
We have
the
the Snyder Cut.
time, or
We have the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
There was a lot of CG that was like, what are we doing? You just had one a couple weeks ago, King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And then we have this. I mean, and it
Yeah,
doesn't kill the movie, but my God.
Yeah, Warner Brothers
Put
is.
effort.
up the standards, man.
Yeah, their CG is lacking here and there. It's like, in a broad sense, they need a lot of work,
Right.
but there are certain aspects. I thought Goro was done really well.
He
Yeah,
was
I
good
didn't
for something.
like.
He was
completely
Yeah.
CGI character
Thanos
from the last time
level.
we saw him.
He didn't look like a cartoon or anything. You know
No,
what I mean?
Yeah, he was
it was
a-
pretty
Thanos level.
imposing, you know.
Because there's times that Thanos. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
It didn't look like the original.
No,
the
thank God.
suit,
Yeah.
Thank
Or
God.
whatever it was.
Well, that was, for its time,
Yeah.
the original was above and beyond. That's where most of the budget went to for the original Mortal
for
Kombat.
the dude?
because-
Goro.
yeah, because it's a guy in a
He's
suit.
huge
Yeah.
dude. Like
Like
But
you
then-
could tell it was
but
a
then
guy
he
in a
had
suit.
claymation, I think, too, right?
But then,
Didn't he?
he's part claymation that they molded in to the shots, and then on top of the guy in the suit, you've got the animatronic,
Gotcha.
which is the top half, the other arms,
Yeah.
and the face. So it was all. It was very. It was cutting edge for the time.
Now in this though,
Of course, 2 years before we did get Jurassic Park. So
I see. That's funny though that you
Universal.
say that because I was like, oh, this must be on the cusp of Jurassic Park situation.
yeah.
Because that's what it reminded me of. Yeah.
well that's the thing with
The original one.
That was
Yeah.
New Line Cinema. They didn't get any money until Lord of the Rings. That's what happened now. It's just what it is. So, but in this, what makes up for that? Let me tell you what makes up for that CGI are the fight scenes.
They were pretty good.
What was really amazing that we can make up for the CGI would be how great the fight scenes were.
Yeah.
Like there was a moment there, like when whatever was happening, I can't remember how it all was going, but when
You had just woken up.
his
You son of a bitch. You're gonna throw
oh
something
Pooch
at me.
McGee.
Yep.
So we'll tell you about that one day.
I told
But
my friend about that. And she laughed. It was funny.
No names. No names.
I had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, look, man, you told on yourself.
I had to go to the bathroom. But anyway, so whenever what's her name? Sonya Blade.
Yes.
Whenever Sonya, she rolled out. But do you remember when she rolled out? Like, because she saved whoever was being, like, beat up at the time.
Yeah.
And she comes and breaks through whatever wall. They just had a really good way of doing the choreography for the
Yeah.
fighting. It really was on point, especially when it came down to Scorpion and Sub-Zero at the end.
Yeah, that was where it was
a
all...
great fight. And I actually seen that in a lot of reviews. The reviews weren't spoilers, but I saw a lot of people talking about how great the fighting was.
Yeah.
And they were a good time. Like it was just choreography.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people were fighting, doing whatever they were doing.
There was a kind of a level of like kind of grimy, like just the fights in general. Like
Seemed
it wasn't
rigid.
It wasn't no. It wasn't like over choreographed.
Yeah, you saw some roughness to it.
It seemed like it was very like off the cuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, these were actually like you felt like these were actually fighting.
Yeah.
Because like it wasn't.
Couch, I'm sorry.
Well,
It's okay.
well, it's
A futon, sorry.
futon. Okay, so let's be proper here.
You okay?
I'm good.
Now,
Okay.
like when Scorpion,
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
when Scorpion and Sub-Zero are fighting,
Mm-hmm.
when he went down, and there was a moment there where like I guess his hat or whatever it was that fell on the ground.
Yeah.
Like he had a pause there where he's trying to see where he's at. He's looking at this. He's looking. He's like, no, I don't need that. Pushes away.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he like takes off his outfit.
Yeah.
He was trying to collect himself. He was beat up. He's on the ground. He's like,
Well, he
you
was
see
getting
his face.
tag teamed.
No, but what I'm saying is for the scene, the realness.
Yeah.
Like if you get the wind knocked out of you, you're knocked down. You're gonna think for a second, like,
Yeah.
I just got rocked, man. And that's what happened there. And you saw his face. He was terrified. And that's when he's like, for the link way or whatever. He takes his mask off. He's
Yeah.
got snot and blood coming out of him.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty. Listen, these things matter.
Yeah. No,
They matter.
It took the
The facade.
like the bad guy,
He looked weak then.
invincible.
Yeah.
Invincible.
running away.
Yeah.
He was a human right there, and he was. I'm like, this is it.
I mean, I don't know about human, but
Well, he was going against the forces of hell.
It's a little-
he himself is not like. I mean, he's shooting fucking icicles at.
Yeah.
He's
Actually-
not human,
So
and he's centuries years old.
right. But so because he's undefeated.
He's probably well preserved because he's so cold.
Probably.
Just saying.
Yeah. He's a
Just
walking
saying.
Comes the nurse
refrigerator.
out of her.
Ah.
So he's like, hey, you keep your level below it, you're gonna be preserved.
But that I didn't get it at first. And actually, I just realized it that he realized and implemented his power very early on.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't a training thing. Like you can't
Yeah,
just train to be like that. That is his.
Like Scorpion.
Well, he
to
had
get
in the
it.
very first scene.
The son,
Yeah,
the, the relative Cole had to get it
Right.
where he had it.
And
Did
I liked it. So go ahead.
Did it go into why he was in the village and going after? What's his name? His
Yeah, it was
Hanzo?
his enemy clan. Really, that's a story.
They
It was
were
an enemy
just
clan.
enemies.
That's all it was.
Hanzo was like
He was the best.
like
they was
what
the best.
like the greatest
Yeah, greatest fighter, I think.
fighter in
Did he like
Japan.
kill somebody's family member? Or
No, I don't think so. I think
I
they
don't
No,
know why
no,
I
he
think
was
it
just
a prominent family, and maybe it
so
overshadowed.
so Sub-Zero was
Lin
just
Kuei.
there to like eradicate the threat
Right,
of the greatest fighter
right.
and to kill his dynasty.
That's it. Oh, you talking about Sub-Zero?
Yeah, Sub-Zero.
That's what he was
Get
doing.
Yeah.
fillers. He just gained some weight.
But it was interesting that
He looks the same to me.
the so Cole's like power when it's unlocked, he like puts on like he become like like grows this like suit thing that can
Now, he
take
was
it.
not a character in the game.
Correct, he's not
Okay.
a
I've
character.
never
He's
seen
brand
it
new.
before.
Brand new for the movie.
Okay.
But his suit takes on the hits and kind of gives him a charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed very similar to Black Panther.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I thought when I saw it. But it was interesting because you open the
Look
movie,
impressed. Yeah, I can hang.
the opening shot of him
What's happening
is
there?
getting his ass beat. Like he's
Yeah,
the
gotta be
guy.
up there. Yeah.
He's the guy at the MMA that takes the hit.
Yeah, he's getting beat.
That hey, we got an up and coming fighter. He's got to beat somebody. Send Cole at him.
That's what it is.
Because Cole can put up a fight, but he can also take a hit because he's really not that good. So his inner power that comes out when he realizes when it happens, it is part of him.
Oh, look at that.
it's not him being the best fighter. It's the fact that he can just take a damn hit.
Super soldier serum.
Oh,
Yeah, if he got that's almost like a
pretty
super
cool
soldier
realization.
serum.
I didn't know why.
Because it takes what you do
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it heightens it.
And
That's what it does.
Sonya or whatever was like really good with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They didn't really go into Sonya that
They
much,
should have
though.
done her kiss thing though. You remember when she would blow the kiss and it would kill the guy? Like, and he's like,
Okay, there was a, we can only go so far into campiness.
yes.
But
Well, I mean, it did have Liu Kang's like dragon eat that guy.
So, favorite part of the movie
Oh,
that you remember from the games?
Oh man. You go ahead because it was your thought.
Okay, so in the last fight where Scorpion and Sub-Zero are duking it out, and they wind up in the cage, and the first shot of Scorpion coming at Sub-Zero, he freezes himself and backs out. So Scorpion slams into an ice clone of Sub-Zero. I'm like, dude, that's from the game, man.
What would they have done in the game though, Matt? If he had hit that,
He would have frozen
He would have
himself.
frozen
Yeah.
himself. That was.
I think.
I like that.
Is that when I said?
yeah,
is that when
you
I said
were-
left, right, up, down, XX?
Yeah, you did.
In the theater.
Yeah.
Watching it again.
He was like,
He came out like, oh, yeah, that's how on.
but that's what he did. He would he would make this thing, and you would hit that, and then you would freeze, and then you come and smack him up a little bit.
But yeah, that and then the dragon thing. I was like, all right,
That
cool.
was
They're
a
working in
fatality.
because they work in. They've got probably what almost 30 years of
Oh, yeah.
Mortal Kombat games that
Was
they
it
could have
92 or
picked and
something?
choose
90,
from. Yeah,
90 or something.
and they worked in these little bits from the games. The cool little Easter eggs here and there.
I mean, come
That
on.
was probably my favorite stuff because I played it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But it
Look
wasn't
at
like
you.
I wasn't. Well, it was
Gamer.
my older brother had.
Yeah.
Shout out
Sega,
Sean.
I think?
Shout out
Yes.
to Sean right there.
Yes.
Sega, right? That was on there.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you
we
play.
had that, and
Get
I
over
still
here.
do this, and it's just button pressing for me. You know what I mean? It's
The
whatever.
old button masher.
All you gotta
But
do is just-
like I remember like the friggin' voice of the dude,
Yeah.
and finish it, and all these saves and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I like the fatality kind of thing there.
Yeah, the one-liners that they worked in
Yeah.
to this, in the dialogue in the movie from the game was, it was
It was fun.
it's a nice hat tip.
And then you had that scene where he was taking the soul from honestly, the fact that Kung Lao got killed just that quickly like that, like he grabbed him and sucked the soul right out of him.
Yeah.
But then he says at the end, death was only a portal. So it's showing you we're going to see these guys again.
I don't think we're going to see Kung Lao again.
Well, you never know because Kung Lao might go to that like Raiden age kind of thing.
Oh, I don't know, because Raiden's an elder god.
Yeah, he's an elder god, but I wonder. Kung Lao was a big character.
Yeah, I don't know if he
killed
ever
him
like
really
ascended
quickly.
to
I mean,
that kind of
I would've killed
level.
off the rest of them before I did that. I mean, who the heck is Sonya Blade? I mean, we need
What?
no. You need Princess Katana.
Well, and that was another thing that I thought was really cool that Sonya,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't even. I'm
Sonya.
going to say how much I remember her from the game, but I don't even know her fucking name.
Ah.
But like, as a girl playing these games,
Yeah.
it's really cool that like,
You have a girl in there.
well, because you would always pick like the girl,
Of course.
Yeah.
because you're a girl playing the game.
She wasn't the best one though.
Well, I mean, but I remember the princess from the first movie
Yep,
Yeah, Sonya
Katana.
Blade.
and her.
Hmm.
I don't remember the teeth chick.
She came on
She came later
later
in the game.
on.
Yeah, so
There was,
I don't
like you
remember
said,
her.
there's been how many games did we talk about? What was it? Like 15 games?
It's a lot.
So.
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost 30 years.
Because Goro and his like brother or whatever didn't show up till like the one on what was it Sega Saturn?
Goro?
Yeah, Goro didn't show up.
He was in
till
the first one.
Was he in the first one?
Yeah, he was. He
Goro
was the second to the last guy that you had to fight.
Mm.
And then you fight,
I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
Shang Tsung, right? Yeah, the bad guy.
Well, I'll check it
Sorcerer.
Check it out later on. Oh, girl got her cowboy boots on tonight. What?
Them boots are made for walking.
Should have worn these to the rodeo the other night. Would have fit right in.
The next one.
The next one.
You get to stand in the line.
Yeah.
Not these. These are decorative ones. These aren't for working.
We did think it was going to 10. Yeah, we did think it was going to 10. But No, I think overall it was good storyline.
Yeah, I would say this is the best live action Mortal Kombat movie.
Look, you do have to remember, it's slim pickings for good movies here.
Well,
Actually, any new movies coming out, so
well,
you have to take that into account.
That's why I'm not going to say it's the best movie.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say,
Like,
is it the
what was
best
that
Mortal
I
Kombat?
have a best video game
Hitcher,
movie.
right? That was the first one that came out right in
Yeah.
the middle of the pandemic. That's not right.
What was it called?
Hitcher, I think.
Or,
Unhinged.
Unhinged.
Hitcher,
Yeah, Unhinged.
Sorry, Unhinged.
Yeah.
With, Russell Crowe.
I didn't see that.
This was like last year,
Yeah.
right in the middle of the pandemic, so you can't gauge. We were like, yeah.
Wait, did you see the Nobody
No.
though? Did you see the Nobody?
We
Yeah, it
did
was-
watch
yeah,
that.
we
saw
watched
it?
Yeah.
I said
That
probably
was
the best movie.
fine.
I
It
think
was
it's
good.
probably- I think it's
Yeah.
probably
But
the best.
only because we hadn't watched a new movie in a while.
It had been a while.
You know?
Yeah.
That was the best movie of the year.
I,
The Nobody?
It was fine. It
it
was
was
good.
good. It was good.
It had its moments,
I mean, it
but
never
I
stopped.
like.
I watched
if you-
it again,
Oh.
so I've got a
Yeah.
secondary take on it. It's still
You just have to
good.
keep that in mind.
You
When
know
you
what
read
it
these
is, that
things.
movie.
Quit your judging eyes.
You remember how you take one?
Hey, we reviewed that like immediately afterwards. It was very hyped up right then.
But would you say this? In my opinion, this might have been the best video game movie.
Yes.
ever. This is the best one,
Yes.
in my opinion. Market, in my
It's
opinion.
hard for me to gauge.
Yeah,
I
you don't have a big, but we've
I-
seen a lot of them. You had Doom. You had the early
Doom was
Mortal
horrible.
Kombat, You had all these
Yeah.
things. I don't.
Movie
Resident-
or like
Resident Evil
Resident Evil, the first one,
was decent. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that movie.
it was a good enough.
It hurt me a little bit.
Yeah, Resident Evil, the first one is really good
Yeah, I'd put
as a
that-
comic,
Right.
as a video game movie. But this one's right up there.
I enjoyed it.
This was fresh. Like it felt like.
It still had that little element of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Well, there were some acting
You know,
issues because
it
and
was-
that was one thing
I thought it
a lot of
was
people
pretty
talk about. You had people that didn't. These aren't like known people. They're
Mhm.
new to the game, so you had. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So you had a little bit of like.
I was gonna agree with you. Who's with the red sash?
Yeah, Liu Kang.
Was like
Yeah.
very dramatic.
Yeah.
Very dramatic.
Well, the world is about to end, so I would give it to him. He's like, "We're gonna die." Well, here we go. You have to train. Like, what are you talking about? You just brought us in here. You know?
He almost seems like he was a little like detached. Like he'd
Maybe.
only known
Maybe that
being
was
an
the
orphan
character.
and training.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
being
that was
trained
his
by a
character.
bunch of
Yeah.
monks. He's got a lightning bolt for a like a mentor.
Yeah.
Like
He's not
really.
He's not with it in
Yeah.
reality. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah, I get it.
Hit
But
it a couple times. He's like,
Like
No.
Liu Kang from the original,
oh,
he was pretty cool.
yeah.
He was
cool.
well adjusted.
But he was very.
Down
But he
to
was
earth.
very.
Down to earth.
So
Yeah.
what's neat is that actually was before he knew his path,
Right.
because he was a civilian
Yeah.
out in the world.
Yeah, so this
So-
is after. So
So it actually could
Yeah.
fit along
Mm-hmm.
where. I just wish they didn't have some of the characters in, because then you could actually say those two fit together.
Mm.
Where like he's the next, like we're doing now. We're going
Yeah.
to get Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Like they're going to get the next batch. We have to
Wouldn't that
keep
have been
winning.
something if they had? So they got rid of theory time, but if they had not involved Kung Lao
Right.
and given Liu Kang like the sole role, like as the being trained for the
so not
combat,
cousin.
not the cousin,
Okay.
have it be Liu Kang and have him bring in the people and like go out and find the warriors
Right.
and then have him be the one who gets killed.
Also, I thought when
You wouldn't
he
see
was,
that
like,
one coming.
they
Yeah, I
went-
wouldn't have
they
seen
went
that.
They went into that like in between plane,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "I just can't do it anymore."
Yeah, it
I was
was.
like, "Suck it up, man!
God
There's a free
dang!
world to save.
Come on, Emily,
on."
give him a shot.
Well, no, like he'd been
Yeah.
dramatic the whole time. I didn't like him in this one as much as I
No.
liked him in the original. He'd been dramatic the whole time, and then he was like, "I can't do it anymore."
He did seem like younger too, like definitely
was
not as
younger.
experienced.
He had nice hair though.
It's a thing. Liu
Right,
Kang has to have nice hair.
Did you see his silhouette? Yeah, there you go.
It was beautiful. It
On
looked,
the
it looked like
mountaintop.
the guy from the first one.
Yeah,
It did, when that-
you knew who it was.
Yeah. As soon as he walked up, that's Liu Kang.
I really think they did a good job.
MC Hammer.
Yeah. All right, MC Hammer. Oh man, dude. Again, though, Kano. You put like guy from I don't know if he's Australian or.
Yes, he's Australian.
He had a blast. He had fun.
Funny enough, a little bit of trivia that Kano from like the first one was not Australian. Like his character wasn't Australian until the original movie. And that actor who played Kano was Australian and brought that to the character. And it was from there. It was that interpretation of Kano that stuck.
Oh, honey.
And ever since then, every other Kano has been Australian.
Oh my God.
So.
Let me ask you a question, man. When we watch these things, like in the first one, and you see like, Sonya Blade, like he's like, "Come on, honey, give me a break," and she breaks his neck. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hot, dude. Like, you don't see that dominant girl just, No. I'm not a big fan of that girl, but I like the attitude.
Okay.
Right?
I thought she was a little more less chip on her shoulder than the original one.
Yeah.
That first one, she was ready.
Oh my God.
She was beating people up in the
Too
club.
much.
They were dancing. She was beating people up.
It's too much.
She was too much. This one was like
You don't
just
think
right.
you,
It was
you
good.
don't think you would have that?
And she wasn't. She wanted to be.
She was a
in
soldier.
It, but
she had a
was
job
there
to
for
do.
I want
for
Kano.
what's his face, Jax or whatever.
Yeah.
But she wasn't like. I don't know.
Dramatic.
She wasn't as. I like the character in this one a lot better.
She was rough.
Yeah.
Than the other one.
Yeah. Hero wise, I think everyone had their moment. For the most part, like the core group, Cole, Sonya, Jax.
I don't even remember him from the first one.
He wasn't.
Well, he wasn't in the first one. He was only in it for a split second.
The first movie?
Yeah, the first.
He was right in the beginning. He
Right
was her
there.
partner that was going to find Kano.
But he had no part in the movie.
Yeah,
he
but
came in the second one.
I see. Okay.
He didn't lose his arms either. He just got
They were literally
sleeves.
like rubber sleeves.
That was all it was. No, this guy lost his arms.
Yeah.
They got ripped off by
Frozen
Sub-Zero.
off. Yeah.
Not even ripped off, broken.
You saw the bone.
I know.
Did
I
see
saw
the
it.
bone.
And then we saw those freaking kids walking in front of us going to the bathroom. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It's because it's a new day and age. They're playing Fortnite.
And I thought that too. I was like, oh
Warzone.
my God.
Yeah.
We're
There's
playing
no
Warzone.
blood in
I played
Fortnite.
in Warzone there is.
Yeah, that's why I don't have my kids play Warzone.
We did the other night.
Oh my God.
Not with mine. Not with mine.
I'm just joking.
But yes.
So yeah.
Good time at the movies.
Man, it really was.
That's what it was.
That's fun.
It was a good time.
I think closing thoughts. What do you rate it?
Out of what?
Out of 10.
10 what?
right. 1 to 10. They had you
What are
right.
we doing? Daggers, fireballs?
Is it a
Dragons.
is it a finish him or is it a whoopsie?
I would say
10 out of 10?
well,
No,
I
not 10 out of 10. Sorry, go ahead.
I'd
What's
give
your
it
rating?
8.5.
Yeah.
Just because there were little things, like I said, with some of the cinematography.
Yeah.
Like, you could probably edit it down. Like, you and I could go take that movie right now and edit it down and make it a masterpiece.
Well, the thing is that it was pretty quick. It was only an hour and 50 minutes.
That was it. That was
I
it.
did like that.
It was
Not a big commitment.
No, it was really well.
Movie time.
It was well paced. There could have been a little
was
tweak
quick.
in here and there.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Like, if there was a couple little things.
But any more, I think the spots that could have been tweaked, they did add to the story.
Yeah.
Now some people may fall asleep during those scenes, but then that's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I had a little issue, and it's not. I'm
What's
just
happening
being
right now?
super nitpicky, and not
okay,
even.
girl.
It may not even be like a legitimate
Oh.
concern or whatever. It wasn't even Mortal Kombat.
No,
They didn't even make it
It was no
to
tournament.
Mortal Kombat.
No tournament. It was just
It
kind of
wasn't
like
even the tournament.
In that, what's interesting is if you play the game and they have the storyline, you're never actually. That's amazing. You're never really in a tournament.
No.
It's always like you're just like you're walking and you're like, Sonya.
Oh, God.
Now you're gonna fight him. There's never a turn. That's amazing. This is what we need to fuss about.
Yeah.
It was legit though.
It was legit.
It was in the first one, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
made it to the tournament.
They went to a tournament.
Yeah.
And whoever won was either going to win 10 in a row or save the world from Outworld coming in. Like, it was a tournament.
Here, that was
Real
not
quick.
the case.
In that first
Yeah.
movie, do you think it's messed up that like everybody else, like I think it was like Liu Kang, he went against they were going against like regular people.
Yeah.
Johnny Cage's first fight
In hell.
it was in hell.
Like-
And the second one was Goro.
Yeah.
But everybody else is like, I'm gonna
He
fight
didn't
some
even stand
guy.
a chance,
I'm gonna
man.
fight this regular dude. Like I met
But
him
he
down
won.
in Chicago.
He won.
He won both
won.
of them.
He
I think that was an
'Cause
interesting.
He's not a fake. He's not a fraud.
Oh, that
right?
was the point.
But that's an
Yeah.
interesting, like, you can kind of look at that where, yeah, he proved himself. He had, like, nutso fights in the first movie. Certainly proved himself not a fake.
Yeah.
And the new one ends with, well,
We're going here.
Cole's got to go find a new,
New batch.
the next batch of fighters, and he's got his eye on Johnny Cage, so.
And Johnny, unfortunately, I do want to say to everybody out there, if anybody follows the story, Johnny Cage is going to die. I think he's the one that dies.
Yeah.
Yep. If he dies, he dies.
Do we know who's? We don't know any future
No.
plans.
No, we don't even
No.
know there's going to be a second one. This actually might be it.
Well,
we
I guess
don't-
we gotta see how this one
So,
does.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this one was, it left you on a cliff, it did not leave you on a cliffhanger. It left you on a,
This is happening.
oh, this is gonna, oh, he's off to find someone
We can
else.
find
They
other
won,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
The first one ends on this stupid ass cliffhanger. They've won the tournament, and
Oh,
then
now what? Yeah.
and then the Emperor shows up, blows up the temple, and is all like, "Your souls are mine." And then Raiden's all like, "I don't think so." Bum bum bum
Yeah,
bum
he's
bum bum bum. It's like, what is happening?
In the second one, if they had done it, if they had taken a little more time and not just like throw a bunch of people in there, the second one.
The second one, yeah, Annihilation.
Yes, Annihilation. It actually really would make it because they brought they had some good plots in there. It just didn't pan out because you had
That was even more of a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, cause
That's
it
what
had
it felt like. I was watching something
Yeah.
on like late night sci-fi.
Yeah.
Back off, lady.
You know,
Judge.
What was,
judge my childhood?
like Fox 35 after school. You know?
Come on, man.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You talking about Goosebumps?
Yeah. Not even Goosebumps.
Oh, is it
Power
below
Rangers.
Goosebumps?
It's Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Watch the
Whoa,
old
whoa,
movie
whoa, whoa.
again. Watch the old movie
Do
again.
not.
It is Power Rangers. That first scene
wait.
is straight out of Power Rangers.
Are you talking
The
about the
tilt
Power
of the
Ranger movie?
thing,
You
huh?
talking about the Power Ranger movie?
No.
No,
The
the show.
first. Yeah.
That was legit. That first movie was legit. Power
You
Ranger
need to
movie?
rewatch that movie.
No, but if
The
you
original, like the
have you seen the new one?
Oh, the new one's
The new
awesome.
one's good. I'm talking about the show. The show with the camera angles. I'm telling you, watch the original Mortal Kombat. 5 seconds in, you're like, this is a fucking Power
That was
Rangers
a nightmare.
episode.
Yeah.
Nightmare. You even agreed to that. You were
I
like,
did. It
you
said
were like,
that. I was like, oh, that's
oh,
why.
it's a
But it
nightmare.
still was like.
Now, actually, see, that's because Timeline didn't have a lot of money at the time.
And I know that was like popular with like the weird camera angles and shit.
No, but they didn't have the money. If you look at a lot of the things they had in like the structure and stuff, that was in Lord of the Rings. They
Yeah.
used the same stuff like statues and things. It's because they were low budget. They were low budget when they did Lord of the Rings, and then it's like, oh, we just made it, and then you make The Hobbit, which is garbage. So
Well, I mean, they went New Zealand or something. Where'd
Yeah.
they go? You don't even need.
No, you don't need
well,
it.
you just
Props,
right
man.
now
You
you
just
can
walk
go to New Zealand,
outside.
you can go in Middle Earth. If you honestly, there's no
You need
longer
costumes.
There's
That's
no
it.
longer. Yeah, there's no longer a New Zealand. It's called.
Middle Earth.
It's just Middle Earth, yeah.
That's what it is. Like
But-
anybody. Yeah. Go
But
ahead.
speaking of the first one,
I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. You're fine. You gotta love you. As
She
soon
did
as
to it a little bit.
Sorry.
the time to Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings. Oh god, Hobbits.
I don't even like Lord of the Rings, so. Sorry. It
There
wasn't
we
me.
go. No,
This will be the
anything
last time
that
she
you like. Was there anything
Look, I
from
didn't
the
give it a fair
original?
chance, sorry.
Was there anything from the
You cut
original?
that out. No one will ever accept me
Oh,
on
I'm
this
not
again.
cutting. I'm not cutting anything out.
We're going nuts.
We're going unedited right now.
I didn't give it a chance.
Sorry.
No. Was there anything from the original Mortal Kombat that you liked more?
From the original?
Yeah. Any aspects?
I did like that they kind of threw in the different scenes that you play in the game. I didn't really notice that here.
Yeah.
Maybe in the arena, like the sand arena or whatever.
Yeah.
But
the chains in the first one when you're in the boat.
and then the pillars and shit.
Yeah.
Like in the dungeon. I don't know what it was, but
Look at you playing the game.
I'm telling you,
She's a gamer.
not really.
Check her out on Twitch.
How about you? Anything?
What was the question?
Anything from the
doesn't
original that you liked more, or you thought that they did better in this one? Because we're kind of doing a compare and contrast kind of thing.
Yeah,
Let's turn into that. That's okay.
Yeah.
No,
We were gonna do a full-on review of the first one, but
well,
it's just gotten
kinda morphed
merged
into
into this.
this is what we do, though. I mean,
Yes.
it's called pudding. It's a lot of fun.
Pudding?
I just made that up.
Yeah.
Right on.
Pudding.
So, no, I would say I liked the first movie. It was a good time. It was original. Listen, guys, we can all put everything down what we want, but when it came out back in the day, it was on fire. When Spawn came out, it was on fire.
I'm sure
There's
it was
a
hot
nostalgic.
Yes.
Yes, I get it.
But-
I get it.
This is a new day and age.
Okay.
We're in new times.
shit. I hadn't seen it when it came out.
This shit was real. This man, there was a man. He wore blue. I won't say his name because it's not fair. But he cut a man in yellow in the arm, and there was a spurt of blood that went in the air. The man in the blue held his hand up and hoped something would happen. And what happened? And it did. That spurt of blood froze into the shape of a
I
knife.
did like that.
Yeah.
He stabbed the man in yellow.
Did like that in this one.
I hope to
I saw
God
that
our
in this
listeners
one.
know what you're talking about, because you're so vague right now.
Vague or vain? You're so vain. You probably
vague.
think this song is about you. Don't you? Don't you?
But no, stabs this man with his own blood. And I mean, you're a nurse. When you freeze blood, how much water comes out of that blood to freeze? Because that's what's freezing is the water, not the blood. So I don't know where I was going.
They don't teach you that in nurses.
Yeah, no. In your professional opinion,
when you freeze alcohol,
you know, it's funny when he stabbed him with it. I had a fleeting thought of like, well, I guess it won't. You know, I mean, it's his own blood.
Confusion. Confusion.
It's not.
He's getting it back. He's not losing anything.
Less risk of infection and shit. You know,
oh yeah, I guess that.
rejection, whatever. But
How'd you feel about
reaction, whatever.
His eyes, though, when he realized that was Hanzo.
I don't think he was like.
He was like this.
I thought I defeated you once.
Broke you.
What?
Back from the pit of hell.
He just, he goes, what was that line?
Oh, okay, hold on. The line when he said, "You thought the fires of hell would kill me."
Yeah.
But I,
Oh, I learned to harness them.
or something like that.
Something
But
along
there was a
those
way
lines.
he said, we gotta look that up.
Yeah.
That was a great line, because that's when he took his mask off and just breathed fire. But again, it wasn't like he peeled his face off. That's
No,
what they
and
do in
another
the
thing,
game.
and
They
another
peel-
thing,
yeah.
like that, they didn't give the Asian actors. They didn't have them speak in an English accent.
No, they spoke Asian like if they were speaking.
They spoke
Yeah.
either Japanese or Chinese.
They spoke
Like,
it, yeah.
and then you
Subtitles.
had, the subtitles. I thought,
Loved
it just gave a little more authenticness
But it gives
to
you
it.
flavor. Like if I, well, we won't go down the road.
There were really good, like, directorial choices.
yes.
When
I think.
before you saw what's his name? The fucking lightning guy. What's his name?
Raiden.
Radon.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes could have been a little
Before you saw his face, I had a thought of like, that better not be a white guy.
Ah!
I swear to God, because
Yeah.
it is in the other
I
one.
know,
I
yeah.
was like, that better not be a white guy.
I will say this. I will say this though. That is a little bit of a thing. I understand what they're doing.
Mhm.
I won't say that rating was better,
Mhm.
but I'm not lying. Like, now this is professional. We're being professional here. I'm not judging anything. But we've had this discussion where sometimes just because you want to stick to something, I don't know if some of these like we'll talk about the cast one day or something.
Right.
We'll go through some casts and stuff. I don't know if just because you want to stay like
natural to the wherever they come from.
Right.
I feel like in this instance there was some times that maybe, like Raiden, I'm not sure, man. Like I felt with the Raiden from the first one, he was a little more fun, a little personal.
The comedic relief a little bit.
He
A little
was.
personal
However,
compared to this. Go
I
ahead.
did, watching it for the first time in 2021, it felt a little off.
It is.
I was like, why are you a white guy?
It's a little off-putting.
Well, I get that, but he's just a god, though. We gods don't have.
Yeah, but he's in like Chinese or I don't even know what.
Yeah. No, I get
country
it. No, I get it.
Because it kind of
garb,
like
you know
if
what I
you
mean?
if you kind of look at it as well, if he's there, if he's an elder god that, you know, these monks are worshiping or whatever, then he's thousands of years old. It probably dates back to they may have modeled their selves off of their god.
True story.
And then having it be a white guy,
I like what I see what you can do.
you're giving this
just-
assumption of, oh well, if we're dating it back like that, then a whole culture is being based off of what some white dude is wearing.
America.
It just it doesn't
No,
feel.
It didn't feel.
Right.
Not that any part of the movie felt authentic, but like, but it just didn't. It felt weird
Yeah.
watching it in 2021.
Well, you know what I'm saying though,
Mhm.
is
No, but if you go back to the lore
right.
and it's a white dude
Right.
dressed in, you know, Asian monk gear,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I get
then
it, yeah.
then that in
He is
itself
highlighted
is a
that.
little, you know, misappropriation, whatever.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what the backstory is
What-
of him, but
yeah.
like in
Yeah.
the game, you didn't. I mean, you never really saw.
Yeah, you didn't really see
Yeah,
what they were.
No, but what I'm saying, what we said the other day,
Mhm.
is it worth risking a bad cast?
I don't think he was bad.
Well, I didn't say he's bad. I didn't say that. But I'm saying, is it worth risking that to make sure you have the appropriate person?
I think if they had,
I mean, there's a lot.
if Raiden's character had a little more to do, then
He just showed up.
he
It's
didn't really.
like,
Well, because his whole thing is like, I'm here just to make sure the rules are followed, but I don't get involved.
Well, he did a shitty job.
He kind of did.
Damn it, they
So,
broke the rules the whole time. The whole time. You will not attack us.
But
Didn't
if he
even get to
had,
the fucking tournament.
if he had a little more to do, then I would have gladly seen a like Chow Yun Fat or Jet Li or even
Oh my
like
god, I was gonna turn to you and be like, wouldn't it have been so cool
or
if it was like
Jackie Chan. Like,
I was gonna turn to you and say that.
like it may have been a little on the nose if
I
it was
know,
Jackie Chan,
I
but
know.
it would have been like if there was more to do, I would have expected there to be
Like a bigger.
a bigger.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot going on for him, so I can see why you're saying that.
Yeah,
He would,
I mean,
he
you
would
can play him in the game. You can kick ass with him. Like,
Raiden's a tough guy, man.
yeah, he gets involved. Yeah.
They really do make that noise.
You need to insert some.
No, we need to get a soundboard, man.
Yeah, I know. We gotta get the soundboard going. But
Get
anyway.
over here.
But yeah,
Finish her.
I think that would wrap it up.
My favorite line.
Unless you guys have anything else to add.
Finish her. I love it. Like when they
Finish this.
yes.
Fatality.
Oh.
Well, they would have these memes.
Yeah.
There's something going on, and he's like, finish her.
Oh.
That's what it is.
It's getting raunchy. It's time to go.
I don't know what you're talking
What are you
about.
talking about?
My
You went
virgin
there.
ears.
She did it. You bring her on the show one time. This is like the 6th time.
We're gonna
Not
get so
really.
many views.
Huh?
We're gonna get so many views.
I'm telling you,
I'm
you
not
go.
that popular.
It's not what I heard. I wrote this down. They're like, Emily. No, I think your gamer name is. I don't know what your game name is. You got to make one up. Because I was thinking
Snickerdoodler.
No. God,
No? Oh, okay.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Okay.
But that will wrap up
Emily, how'd you
this.
say it? Finish this?
Yes, that will.
Let's finish this.
Whatever it is.
Mortal Kombat.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this special.
I'm sorry. What
review.
was your rating? What was your?
Yeah, what was
We
your?
didn't even get
Yeah,
to that.
8.5. 8.5.
8.5.
I give it an 8.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, like a solid 7 or 8.
Yeah. Right in there.
7 8's a big difference. You got
7.5, 8.
There you go.
Yeah, that works.
Pick a number. 7.5 or 8. There you go.
All right.
7.5, 8.
8.
8.5.
Yep.
So we're in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Baseball park.
There it is. Thursday night at the Diamond. Mortal Kombat.
Damn.
But thank you, everyone, for checking us out and looking at listening to this review of the new Mortal Kombat. And you can check us out on, where did she say? Instagram?
Instagram.
Is there an Instagram?
All right, so we have an Instagram.
You're right, yeah, that one.
We have Instagram. You can check us out at the Squadcast podcast.
Right?
We have a Facebook page.
Yes, Facebook. And a group.
Group.
A growing group. Thank you, people, for checking us out.
Thank you,
Just,
people.
just listen.
It's the little people.
We're a good time.
At the Squadcast
We're
podcast.
not desperate.
We're not desperate at all. Please.
No, we also have a website. You can check us out at the squadcastpodcast.squarespace.com. You can find all of our content there, along with movie reviews and pictures and bios and, ever expanding things that I will get to eventually.
Get over there.
I'm trying. It's really tough.
I was telling the people.
Okay, yeah, that too. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Get over there.
I'm sorry. But yes, thank you, everyone. And Squadcast podcast out.
My goodness.
Get over here.